return of NASCAR Mike because Daytona, baby. And then everybody reports to spring training. We got some predictive thoughts about this MLB season. And then not only that, we're going to talk a little bit about NBA All-Star Weekend, this lovely four-nation tribe deal that's going on in hockey, and of course, NFL talk. It's the Taxi Squad podcast.
Come on, everybody, celebrate. The Taxi Squad is here today. So lose the blues, kick back and relax for now. Kick back and relax for now. They talk about sports and stupid stuff. They're probably wrong and it might get rough. So welcome back. It's the Taxi Squad. Yeah.
Vince, how you doing?
It's not good.
Why?
Not good.
Why aren't you good, man? What's wrong?
This is one of those like call your homies times a year.
Hey, bro.
You haven't checked in with people. It's like, hey, man.
What's up, bro?
How you doing? You want to know why I'm not good, Mike?
Why aren't you good, Vince?
Because nothing's going on, dude. This is the dog days of winter. You ever heard that term? Nothing's happening. You want to know the biggest thing that's happening to me right now? I'm trying to stop picking and biting my nails. That's
Stop munching on your things, Vince.
So
those Reginas are raw.
I know. No, these ones are actually growing in quite nicely now.
Fucking raw.
No, dude, they were worse. But I got this shit. This Mavella stuff. You put it on there, it makes your hands taste gross. So you can't eat your fingernails. So that's the coolest thing that's going on in my fucking life because nothing's happening right now. I can't watch anything. Honestly, if it weren't for hockey, like
that hockey.
Yeah, I'm thinking about watching Severance now because people have been doing that. Like, it's just such a boring time in the world.
So you're stop trying to bite your fingernails. You plug just some anonymous fingernail biting.
Yeah, no free ads. Yeah.
Well, like, what is it? It's its sole purpose not to bite your fingernails?
Yeah. It's literally, helps avoid putting fingers in your mouth. Makes it sound like a baby. It's horrible.
Does it taste like poo?
No, it's like chemical almost.
Ew.
Yeah, like I forgot I put it on, and then I went to go nervous tactic bite my nail, and I was like,
Think about all the things you do with your hand in a day, and then you.
Hey, dude, I don't need your goddamn. This isn't therapy session with.
Hey,
Mike,
I'm
right?
just saying. I
understand. I understand. That's why I'm doing it. Okay.
Well, I have a problem, Vince. I pick them. Yeah. I don't bite them anymore. I pick them.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that either.
You shouldn't do that either. Wait, yeah. I mean, what nervous tick can we have anymore? I sleep with fucking mouth tape. I can't bite my nails. What am I supposed to do?
I like tapping. I like tapping on things.
Guy?
It's bad. So I'm just trying to get rid of all of my little nervous tactics and just living in the moment.
Well, Vince, to your point, there's not a ton going on right now. I'm back on the road.
Nothing's happening.
A road game. Right? I'm sitting in another hotel here in Kansas City. It's colder than anything I've experienced in over a year. This is fucking horrible. I don't know why anybody lives here. I moved for a reason. It's horrific. But
what is it there?
It is 10.
Oh, yeah. We're the same.
Balmy 7 right now.
We're the same. Yeah.
Got a rental car last night because my flight was delayed out of Dallas until sometime around 10:45.
Fuck Dallas, dude.
Vince, fuck Dallas.
That goddamn airport.
That airport is horrible.
It ruined my days. My life.
Well, that's because you flow the Greyhound buses of the sky.
I know. I had to.
You didn't have to do shit. I was on American.
Choice.
I was on American like a reasonable human being.
Sure.
And I was sat on a tarmac de-icing a plane from 9:30 to 10:45. And then finally this plane left. Earlier that afternoon, I flew into Dallas for a work event, rented a vehicle, rented and returned that said vehicle. They claimed I never did. Absolute garbage, horse shit, bukkake. Now,
what do you mean they claimed you never did? So you didn't have to pay for it?
No. Now they're trying to charge me, and now I got to dispute it. It's fucking stupid.
Oh, that's dumb.
So then I set the latest pickup time for my vehicle at Avis 11:45 because you can't go into midnight because that's going into the following day. Then they say you're out of your pickup window. All right.
What time is it?
So now it's 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm standing at the Avis counter on a lovely Wednesday at this stage of the game morning, and then they give me a fucking Malibu with no tires, And I just
Well,
drove
ball
this
tires.
shit box.
I don't think it
ball
was
tires.
It wasn't
no
tire
tires.
less. Yeah.
I mean, it might as well be. Drove this
You're
shit
like
box
Barney
all the
Rubble,
way.
yabba dabba doing all the way down
Yeah.
the street.
Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Bonnie. Here's
Fred
my
Flintstone
mailable.
looking ass.
It's true. So I finally get to my hotel. I'm like, this has been a day. I've been in multiple states. I got training Bright-Eyed and Bushy Tail tomorrow morning that I'm doing, right? I got to bring the fucking energy, cuz.
Boom.
I got to be purest version of Corpus Mike, right?
Corpus Christi, yeah.
Corpus Christi, Corporate Mike. So I get to my fucking Aloft Hotel here in lovely KC. It's now 1:45 in the morning. Usually hotels, what would you say it's this late? Usually there's someone always manning the desk. What else are they
but
doing?
they might be in the office doing anything but manning the desk.
Well, they weren't manning the desk. I had to stand in the little atrium. I called the hotel 3 times. I rang the fucking A-phone system 4 times.
Yeah.
Finally, after beating on the door for an aggressive 5 minutes, I got let in.
Oh my
Thank God I checked in ahead of the time.
Yeah.
And I finally went to sleep at 2:30 in the morning. And I woke up and trained all day, and I'm still here. So if you got excuses, right?
I was gonna say, are you done complaining? Are you done
travel nightmare
Mike?
from hell? I'm still here doing it. I'm still standing. Let's talk about sports.
And
let's talk about people.
Standing after all this time.
I
Good
felt
job,
like
dude.
trains, planes, and automobiles last night, but I did it, and we're here. Let's talk about people shitting their pants in basketball.
We're here and we're queer. All right, here we go.
Wait, what?
Wait, I don't think we are. Yeah, Jimmy Butler pooped his pants.
Dude,
Jimmy Butler pooped
it really
his
looks
pants.
like he shit his pants.
He did. He did poop.
He shit those pants.
I was thinking about this. So, like, the Heat don't often wear the white jerseys much anymore. So he hasn't had to wear white jerseys in a long time. And if he's wearing the red ones or the black ones, like, the poop wouldn't show. So maybe he got accustomed. Maybe out in Miami, he got accustomed to just, like, letting something fly every now and then. And now he's on the Warriors. He's wearing those bright white jerseys. And then you're like, oh, he pooped his pants.
Do you think he's just a bad wiper? Maybe it's just residual.
That was a lot of
doo-doo.
poopy to be a bad. Do you think he's
think
a
he had-
non-wiper?
Do you think he had diarrhea?
Probably.
Do you think he went up to he drove to the hole, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And then came down rough stomach and just maybe a little rose came out.
A little.
And that a little shit rose came out to play. And then before you know it, you get sweaty.
Maybe.
And you running around. And then the shit bleeds.
Sweats down. Yeah.
Let that shit bleed, not breathe. So then that shit bleeds.
Okay.
And then last thing you know, now the world's talking to you about shitting your pants.
He did. I mean, he did. There's no denying
he shit those shorts.
He
I'm just surprised there
pooped his
wasn't like a
pants.
reporter after the game being like, Jimmy, could you please explain the brown stain on your shorts
Why didn't
in the
he?
third quarter?
Why didn't he pull a Paul Pierce and just like get put in a wheelchair and then he goes to poop and then comes back out and he's like, I'm okay.
And he dropped 13 points in like 2 minutes.
Right after that. He pooped his pants. And if you guys want to see it, you can go ahead and find it. I don't know if YouTube would even allow me to show a guy pooping his pants on YouTube. So
I mean, it's not necessarily somebody shitting their set pants. It's
right.
just the poo-poo stain.
It's post
It's
pants.
post cock stain.
Yeah.
On the shorts.
Yeah. But either way, go find it if you want to. I have an update on the Jerry Jones glory hole.
Jones glory hole.
If you guys remember a couple weeks ago, Jerry Jones he was talking about Brian Schottenheimer. He said, I know it hasn't all been champagne and glory holes, is what he said a couple weeks ago. And we were like, what do you mean? Jerry Jones, that's gross, dude. Why you talk about glory holes? Found out that he's not a one-time offender, but a 3-time offender in interviews about talking about glory holes. In 2012, he first used it saying, I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. Having said that, I want me some glory hole. That's a quote from 2012. So he's been there back in the 90s when they had their glory holes going crazy, and now it's not glory holes in 2012. Then on First Take in 2022, 3 years ago, I can't tell you how many times in my life when I've had it handed to me a lot of different ways, but I went back to work. I went back to work, got up on a Monday morning, and there it was, glory hole, right in the middle of it. Quote from Jerry Jones. So I was like, all right, this clearly means something to him. It wasn't a faux pas. It wasn't like
All right. Investigative journalism, Vince.
Yeah, so I was like, Jerry Jones can't be talking about the hole in the bathroom. So back in the days of Jerry's youth, a glory hole was when you drilled into an oil well and the oil came gushing out with oil, not needing a pump. It's so glorious because you didn't need to pump all the oil out. It just did it automatically.
It squirted.
Someone's got to tell, dude. Someone's got to say, hey, Jerry. Hey, Jerry. Glory hole.
Terrible thing to do, Jerry. It's a terrible thing to do.
Hey, Jerry. Someone's got to say, hey.
What's going on with glory holes?
Yeah, you got to say, hey, no more glory hole talk. In today's modern day, it's a hole in a bathroom where the freaks go, not an oil well.
I think it would be funnier if like he didn't understand the context of all these things and started them like stacking them. Right. So let's just hypothetically say he's talking about the glory holes.
Yeah.
So he's out here.
The glory holes.
we're back to the days of glory and the glory. Back to the days of glory holes squirting all over us.
Yo.
Just like I said, just keep stacking.
Oh, God.
Just
I thought you were saying like,
us.
yeah, it was hot in Cleveland when we went to go play. It was a real Cleveland steamer, if you will.
just squirting all over us in that glory hole.
Oh.
And just truly sopping all that
yeah,
good.
Everybody's getting covered from the glory hole.
That's I would just love if he started
sucking all that
just based off the context.
Out.
Although I do think there is some real things and real talk here that he knows what he's saying, because this is also, mind you, the same guy who was talking about the size of other dudes that he recruited to the team's dicks.
Correct.
On the sideline with Jamie Foxx.
And Jamie Foxx was like, yo.
Yeah, like he stopped the live. He was like, Jerry, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm on live Instagram. You're talking about the size.
Do you think Jerry was just like, got me? Like, what do you think he says?
I don't know.
And then he's on Landman talking about how I want to build business for my kids. Just not be the focus of it. My family. Brian Kelly. Brian.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't know what it is.
He knows. He totally
I don't know if he does.
He has a daughter, dude. He's got to know.
Like, she thinks she would tell him, right? Or somebody's got to tell him.
Like, hey, Papa. But also stop talking about egregiously sexual things that you're not aware of.
I feel like Jerry Jones is a bit of a dictator in a lot of ways, where no one would even tell him he's wrong. They would just be like, I'm not going to rely on it. You know,
he's
a dictator.
Dictator?
Yeah, it's like a potato in your pants.
He's like a Richard Potato out here.
Yeah, I got chips in my pants. Call me a dictator.
Shout out to Richard Potatoes.
Yeah, dude. Dude, that's actually great. I'm going to add that to my rap lyrics. I got chips in my pants. Call me a dictator. Yeah.
Oh, I got chips in my pants. Call me
a dictator.
Then I fry him in some duck fat. It's Bronson.
It's like John milking a cow. I'm legendary.
Oh, you could do that with a lot of things.
John Legend. Milking a cow. Legendary. Anyway, Jerry Jones, consummate glory hole professional, supposedly. At least he's not at the same massage parlors that Justin Tucker and Deshaun Watson and Robert Kraft go to. He's more of a glory hole guy.
Clip guy. Hey, how about Mike being a golf guy?
Yeah.
If you follow us on the socials, you'll know Mike is now, in fact, a golf guy, because I went to a white person drinking Olympics.
Yeah.
But other than that,
you are white and drinking at that event.
This is true.
Yeah.
For the record, nobody goes there to watch golf. Zero. We discussed this last week. Nobody's there to watch golf.
For sure.
You're there to get drunk and chase ghoul. And that's it. All right.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, by this stage of the show,
clap your hands
and follow.
If you're happy.
All right. Okay. The return of NASCAR Mike is here.
Welcome back.
Honest.
Yeah.
To Vince's point, we are at the dog days of the sporting talk world.
Oh, yeah.
So much so that we're not going to go into who's the GOAT and I got Iguodala and all of these egregious sport takes that everybody talks about this time of the year. We're also not going to talk about the WNBA because who cares? But let's talk about a sport we all know and love, NASCAR.
I don't know if that's true. For our core audience, no one loves.
And now the return of NASCAR Mike, buddy. Here we go. Let's talk about Daytona 500.
Welcome back. Some glory holes out there.
Well, familiar faces finished in this top three, buddy. Okay. And that one person is a guy by the name of Jimmy Johnson. And I don't know why I'm talking like a country hick, because Jimmy Johnson's from California. So it's
does he race in normal NASCAR? I thought he changed to like different.
He has now switched from NASCAR racing to Indy racing. So he kind of does a split schedule because he's just a jazzy little guy. And now he's also expressed interest in Formula E. Like he got to the tip top of the mountain when he was in NASCAR, won numerous championships.
For years.
Was just an absolute dog in the sport.
Yeah.
And just mastered it and then just kind of fell off and then just decided, hey, I want to go race other cars, and just done open wheel. He's doing an IndyCar. He races a lot in that circuit. Very cool, very fun. So with all of that, the Daytona 500 was on Sunday, of course. It is the, in quote, Super Bowl of auto car or stock car racing. And it is something that is celebrated every year, similar to that of, like I said, the World Series or the Super Bowl. But their season, it just so happens to be the kickoff, right? Nobody seems to care about All-Star Weekend for NASCAR, which I think is stupid because and an aggressive clip, how many country music stars are just hanging around there and they're like, come on.
No one cares about All-Star Weekend for Well, yeah, aren't they all just, what, do they vote for 10 drivers?
Yeah, but they race. Like the heats of that race are electric.
Yeah, but what's the difference between just
listen? The last 30 laps in NASCAR is what counts. So let's talk about.
It's an individual sport. Why do you need an all-star game?
Let's talk about the last 30 laps.
Can you explain to me what an all-star weekend is for NASCAR?
All right, so there's like an all-star break, similar to that of the NBA.
It's like they have an all-star. They don't have an all-star game for like PGA.
It's an all-star race, Vince.
Is it like a
race? It's like the top 10 drivers in the seedings. No, it's not a relay race, you noob.
I am for sure.
I know. They have like 3 separate heats that they run.
Okay.
And how you perform in those heats, each heat is like 30 laps. And usually they'll do it at what we like to call fast track or non-restrictor plate track. Okay. I'm going to go back to should I explain what a restrictor plate is?
No, it's too much.
I'm going to explain what a restrictor plate is.
Okay.
So a restrictor plate basically restricts airflow into the motor of the engine in order to give it more power, because essentially the only thing a motor is a big air compressor, right?
Yep.
So it's just pushing in it, it's sucking in air and pushing it out. And the faster it does that, the faster you're going to go in a straight line and turn left.
Understood.
So with that, they decided that the cars were being too fast and turning left. And they decided we need to find a way to restrict this. Hence, restrictor plates. Makes the car slower at fast tracks like Atlanta, like Michigan, like Talladega, like Daytona. So those are the big ones. You could also throw Texas in there. A lot of the times what they do is say, all right, here's restrictor plate racing. Now, usually All-Star Weekend is at a track quite like that because going fast is fun and people like people who go fast, right? All right. Staying with me? Cool.
Yep.
So what they'll do is they'll do 3 heats of the top 10 drivers in the circuit at that point in time based off of the point system, which they scale on laps led. They also scale on poles and where you sit. Where you sit in your qualifying standards, and also your top 5 finishes, races won, all of the averages based off the course of that time frame, right? Because it's like the midway point of the year. Why you would also be considered, in fact, all-star. Got me?
Yeah. I still don't understand. Like they race all of the races, don't they?
Yeah, Vince, but it's like a specific fucking race for the top 10 drivers in the sport at that given time. And they do like 3.
But then the next like major race, they're all going to be there and they're all going to drive pretty well.
Yeah, but it's the same principle as baseball. Like,
not really, because you have a whole team in baseball and then the best players from the team play together.
Yeah, it's an individual sport, Vince. You're driving.
That's why I wish it was like a relay. Like, you imagine if they have little poles and they had to throw it to each other and catch it and then drive?
I don't know. Fly next to each other doing a buck 20? Like, what the fuck are you going to do?
No, I'm not a race fan. I don't
grab it, Jimmy. Grab it.
Grab my shit.
Or grab the pole, Jimmy.
Okay, here's an idea. Hurdles.
Vince, they're not athletes. They drive cars. I mean, they are athletes. Don't get me wrong. They're just little. They're little guys. They're just little guys. They're just little guys, though. They have little legs. They can't hurdle.
Yeah, why don't they have like horse racing all-star games?
Race car drivers are little guys. They're built like pilots. They're not meant to
They're
go
like
long
jockeys.
distances running. You know,
Well, why don't they have the all-star game for like horse racing?
Vince, I don't know. I'm talking about fucking NASCAR. Back to the point.
Yep.
With that being said, all right, so they have the 30-second or 30-lap heats, and then whoever wins each heat or finishes in the average of the top drivers in that heat wins like 10 mil.
For the all-star?
Right? Yes, their team does. Their individual team does, which there's Hendrick Motorsports, there's Gibbs Motorsports. All of them have different rides. And what I say by a ride,
Jordan have one?
Manufactured. Yeah, Jordan has one. It's like the only thing he does well. And basically what you look at it is like these are teams where manufacturers of automobiles cling on. Ford, Chevy, Toyota. So
that's like F1. I get that. Yeah.
There you go. NASCAR Mike gave you some education. Now, William Byron won his second straight Daytona 500 over the weekend. It was a close race. The last 30 laps were electric. Only real reason to watch this sport. Joey Logano had a fucking car.
Home Depot, yeah?
No, he used to be Home Depot. Now it's Pennzoil. I don't know who he was rocking with on Sunday. It's always some goofy new sponsor.
Sure.
But Joey Logano had a fucking car.
Uh-huh.
And he got blocked.
I hope so.
Horribly. Meaning like he had a fast car.
He's out there running. He's out there just sprinting against
William Byron blocked him on like the last 5 laps from passing him, which made Logano inherently spin out because he got ran up on by somebody else, took the wind out of his back spoiler, and he was in the fucking wall.
Sure.
And it's really shitty. And then Byron goes on to win the lap in a green-white checkered. And basically, this is the big track theory. Green-white checkers are usually the play because someone usually wrecks like between the 30th lap and the 5th lap, the final 5 laps of the race. Okay. And then they just go, all right, green-white checkered. So what a green-white checkered is, lap under green.
Lap under white. So
that means go.
Race over.
Final lap, race over.
Got it.
So there you have it.
Nice.
And he won his second, but Logano had a car. I think Logano's on to big things. William Byron.
He's been around for a bit.
Yeah, he's been around for a bit. It's good to see it. Chase Elliott, one of the best drivers in the sport right now. Great
country music artist.
No.
He sounds like it though. Could you? Chase Elliott has a new song coming out next week. You're like, oh yeah,
yeah. He's
Chase Elliott.
He's a Caucasian boy who comes from racing roots.
Yeah. Who's Elliott and why is he chasing him? That's my question.
Hey.
Speaking of
there's
Chase,
NASCAR talk.
Briscoe, dude. What happened to Briscoe? We were talking Briscoe earlier.
Briscoe?
Yeah, Chase Briscoe.
Dude.
Chase Briscoe got issued a heavy penalty for a spoiler.
Oh, yeah. So Gibbs Racing got issued a pretty hefty fine.
Notorious NFL head coach Joe Gibbs.
Yes, Joe Gibbs does have a racing team. There's a lot of sports that cross over into NASCAR, and a lot of people who have interest in motorsports, which is fun. Sometimes you like to go fast and turn left. Yeah. Unless you go to like Laguna Seca, buddy, then you can go right and left. But with that, Joe Gibbs docked 100 driver/owner points and 10 playoff points. Once again, there's a whole playoff system. Because the spoiler is a single source part that cannot be modified and was discovered in the NASCAR's inspection process after qualifying.
Look at that. Crazy, I think.
So to give everybody some understanding and some context on that, the cars themselves all have to almost be identical.
Yeah.
And the motors and how they're tuned is really where you win the race. Unlike sports like F1, where the cars aren't necessarily identical.
Yeah.
The individual teams in F1 bring in millions and millions and millions of dollars on engineering. Truly fascinating. Some of the highest IQ people I've ever seen. I go, wow, he learned how to put a spoiler on a car. But it's a lot different in F1. A lot of British people, a lot of Germans, beautiful Germans.
Yeah. Beautiful. We love the
beautiful Italians. Very small people, though. Very, very short. Yeah. I get there. I'm like, good to see you. I look down on them. They look up at me.
Everybody's looking up at me.
Everybody's looking up at me. I go, hi, the weather's fine. How are you?
I think I
All
did
right,
know that about NASCAR though. But hey, can we move on to some baseball?
Baseball.
I appreciate that history class. I still don't understand it entirely, but
moving
I
quick.
appreciate
Giving
that.
everybody a quick NASCAR minute. Let's talk about real sports.
Yeah, thank you. Alex Bregman is a Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
$120 million for 3 years.
A lot of fucking money for a guy who's almost
60. Yeah.
40.
Not almost 40.
What's
30,
he, 32?
2?
Oh, wow. Okay. I dated myself.
I think that being said, a little bit of injuries. No, he's 30 on the dot right now. A little bit of injuries the last couple of years. He did go out and hit a staggering 260 last year with a 4.53 slugging. Not the best season in the world. Clearly, championship Astros, been on the team for a long time. Led the league in WAR for 1 year. Good player, not great player. 3 teams in the race for him, really. Maybe 4. What was talked about was the Cubs. It was not the Astros, the Red Sox, and it was the Tigers. Tigers notoriously, AJ Hinch is the manager there who was the manager at the Astros when they got in trouble. Yeah, should have been the White Sox manager. But when they got in trouble for the cheating scandal, Cubs notoriously have a couple guys from the Astros, especially Kyle Tucker. He ends up going to the Red Sox, and Rafael Devers in an interview, they were asking him about it, and he's like, oh, I play third. And they're like, what if you're going to play DH? He's like, I'm not going to. I play third. To which Bregman said he'd play anywhere, which is fine.
Oh, yeah. What else is he going to say?
This is a lot of money for Alex Bregman, dude.
Well, if you look at his defensive, grades, they're off the charts. He's one of the best defensive basemen in all of baseball. You can't deny that based off of his statistics alone and his WAR. His wins above replacement are really what we should be looking at, even though it's a silly fucking stat. But he's got it, right? And don't get me wrong, I think he gets hot and cold with hitting. Yeah. Like he goes through certain cases and spots in the year where he's tearing the cover off the ball and then not at all. He's small, so he has a very small strike zone. He's not a bigger individual. He's not like the size of an Arenado or even a Devers. If you're going to
6 foot 190 is what he's listed. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably being quite forgiving. Let's face it. He's probably closer to the 5'10" side. You see him on the field. He looks like a little guy.
He does. So kind of has that David Wright build to him.
Yeah, it's kind of a little David Wright build to him, a little less bleak. But I mean, if you think about the deal for him, so I've done some homework on this. The Cubs came in with the lowest offer. They totally Reinsdorfed it. They were like, well, we wanted to offer more, but we just couldn't because milkshakes. And then Detroit came in and they were like, come play in Detroit. And he's like, fuck that.
$170, right?
Yeah, they offered even more, but the opportunity.
Why would you want to go to I would rather go to the Tigers than the Red Sox right now.
I would not. I disagree.
Why?
Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
Rafael Devers.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're going to bring back Verdugo. That's like set in stone. He said
you
he
remember
wants to go
how
back.
good the Tigers were last year.
Timeout. You're bringing back Verdugo, Bregman, Devers. Okay, let's just say they share an infield and you move Bregman over to short. Beauty. Yeah. Okay. You sign Crochet or you trade for Crochet. So now you have a solid pitching lineup. They're going to compete in the East.
I agree, but
they got hot there towards the end, and then the Yankees just completely tampered them up.
They're really good too.
But truly, if you think about Bregman, he's a great pull hitter.
Yes.
And for him, he's just going to be hitting doubles off the Green Monster all year or home runs. So it's great for what he likes to do, and he gets to play for a storied franchise. You get to play in Fenway, which chills just thinking about it.
That is true. That's a really good point. It will be cool for him to play there.
AL East, to beat the Yankees is why you sign with the Boston Red Sox, and he hates the fucking Yankees because they played the Astros a lot. They beat him a lot.
Yeah. The Yankees should hate him more than he should hate the Yankees, if we're being honest, though.
I know, but Boston as a whole, I think the lore of playing in Boston, if I, got hit by a bus tomorrow and got reincarnated as a baseball player playing professionally and playing third base, and somebody was like, here's all these options.
Yeah.
I'm playing Boston. I'm choosing Boston too. Silly not to.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty freaking awesome when we were in there. That was pretty freaking
It's electric.
awesome.
It's baseball porn in every way. Like you're
is.
just there, and like you got a slight like chub deal going on. You're semi-emotional for some reason.
Yeah, you're semi-chubbed and semi-emotional for sure.
You're kind of like, this is the most beautiful thing, and it's just lovely.
You
And
want a
Sweet
fun
Caroline
fact?
Wine. Yeah.
Out of high school, because you know most baseball players, if they're like from the States, they get drafted twice, usually.
Yeah.
You get high school and you get college. Out of high school, Alex Bregman, 29th round, 2012, out of Albuquerque by the Boston Red Sox. They drafted him out of high school, and now he's back to play for them. So maybe that has something to do with it deep down in his mind. Because obviously the Astros ended up drafting him.
Oh, what could have been? I mean, it'd be hilarious to me if they went out and signed Rizzo because he was a part of that organization as well.
Or San Diego.
So if Rizzo just came in there and just kind of, say I want to stick it to the Yankees, wouldn't surprise me.
That's true.
But I think Verdugo goes back, and then I also think Bregman is most likely going to start at third base. Either that, or they might move him to second because he's like the perfect bill for second, and he could take over the legendary.
Who's the shortstop there?
I don't know. They haven't had a really good shortstop
because Bregman's played a lot of shortstop too. So we'll see. I still think the Tigers are going to be pretty good this year, but I was surprised they didn't go there. Oh,
Ooh.
Trevor Story. Duh.
That's a great infield.
Yeah, it is a good infield.
That's a really good infield. If you put him at second and you have Devers, who's a defensive liability.
Yeah, but if he wants to play the position, he's still the best hitter on their team. So they have to kind of let him do it.
When we saw the Yankees play Boston, Devers ate their fucking lunch. He fucked up Garrett Cole.
Yeah, he's the man. I love him.
Yeah, you weren't there for that.
No, I know, but he's the man.
Very sad.
Very sad.
Quite sad.
You want to know what else is sad, Mike?
I have a sadder fact probably, but go ahead.
Okay. You go first.
The sadder fact, I'd like to point this out.
Yeah.
The Tampa Bay Rays don't have a home this season.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot
They
about
are
that.
going to be playing baseball at the Yankees facility in Jupiter.
Oh.
As a home field. 11,000 seats. Do you want to know a fun fact?
The Yankees, like in division?
Yeah, the Yankees like leased out that stadium for them to play in during this season while their stadium gets under construction, right? Which is kind of brilliant in many ways because it's like, oh no, the stadium got hit by a natural disaster insurance claim.
Yeah.
So they're going to play in Jupiter. 11,000 people is the total capacity of the stadium.
So they'll probably fill like 3.
Let's play a game, Vince. Who spent more money this baseball offseason? The Tampa Bay Rays in free agency or the Chicago Cubs?
I know the answer is the Rays because you're doing a little snafu. So it has to be the Rays, even though they don't even have a fucking stadium.
They spent more money than the Chicago Cubs, which to me is the most pathetic fucking thing. And if you're
probably
listening
more
to
than
this,
the Sox too, no?
If you're listening to this, welcome to Chicago sports ownership.
Yeah.
And if you're a Cub fan, you're about to go through it, baby. They are literally leading you on.
Yeah.
They are leading you on off of the love and hopes of 2016. Which
they're going to Gibson's with Jerry, and they're getting the fast track to how to act like Jerry. It's feeling that way.
They are getting cheap. And regardless of what they want to tell you, the Kyle Tucker thing, which is a rental at best.
Yeah. But
and now you go out and sign Josh Turner, who's 40.
Justin. Josh Turner saying, "Oh, baby, lock them doors and turn them lights." Yeah.
That was really good.
Thank you very much.
But it's true. Now you signed Justin Turner, okay, who I think played for Seattle last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Still a decent hitter, but 40.
Yeah,
he's 40 years old.
You have this Shaw kid who's coming up in your program, Nico Horner. Shaw's allegedly like the
very
next
good
Bryant. They're saying he's all that. But if you don't plan on playing him this year, I don't know the value of him. So
I think they win the division this year, though.
No way.
Why?
Milwaukee
lost a couple guys already.
Doesn't matter.
They got Tucker. Shaw comes up, plays decently well.
You know who you shouldn't rule out in this whole scenario?
Dansby.
You know
Cincinnati?
who after like 2 years of sucking comes back and surprises a lot of people?
Cincinnati?
Birds. Cards.
No, they're too young. No shot.
They're very talented.
Too young.
Think about the last team that you said was too young.
Who's going to pitch for them?
They brought in Albert and went on a playoff run or push.
Dude,
They just lost to the Phillies.
Their rotation is decrepitly old, and the rest of their team is too young. It's not going to work out that well.
Okay.
We'll see, but I
wouldn't be surprised if it goes the way they wanted to in St. Louis. Do not be surprised if they're buyers at the deadline coming into July.
Crazier things have happened.
I could see by July 8th or whatever the deadline is in 2025, if St. Louis is reaching for something in the divition, I just don't think you could just give it to the Cubs.
The distance. Oh, Jesus, I had to.
So close, you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions.
Whoa. All right. Want to hear something sad? White Sox signed Joey Gallo. Do you know what Joey Gallo hit last year?
190.
Ooh. You gave him 0.03 more than he actually hit. Joey Gallo hit 160 last year. Joey Gallo, mind you, to you non-baseball heads, had a couple years where he's hitting 38 home runs, all-star. He hit 22, 40, 41, 25. Even 2 years ago with Minnesota, he hit 21 on 177 batting average. He has a 194 for a career. He's horrible. He's really bad. And
literally, the White Sox keep posting like showing up to camp, and I'm like, who the fuck are these guys?
These guys? I know, and I'm going to continue what I've been doing the last year and just letting it go. I saw a graphic that was like White Sox are winners this offseason. And then you go in and look at the discourse, like, why are they winners? And everybody's like, because they can't be bigger losers. But like somehow they'll figure out how to do it. He's gonna be like, vanilla s'mores.
I'm gonna put on my my influencer Mike hat on Saturday because I'm going to see the Crosstown series in Mesa. And he's gonna be like, come with me while we search the Bud Light deck.
Yeah, you have to. It was fun. I want more commentary out of you this time so I can edit it and be like, look at him go. It's like, now I'm gonna drink the. You did in the beginning, but then the rest there was no commentary.
Well, I was just showing everybody the view. It's golf. It's
I know.
polite. Baseball, I can just go a little bit more unhinged. Be like, look,
this is me drinking a Miller Lite.
Come with me while I put a lime in Michelob Ultra and call it fancy. Hot dogs.
I'm looking forward to editing that reel.
No, that's literally my wife's entire scroll.
I know.
When she's on TikTok or anything, it's just you just hear, come with me. Yeah. Today I'm going. Come with me.
Get ready with me. Get ready with me while I go to Target.
Shut. God. No one cares.
Yeah, but ours is just like, let me tell you something about Vladimir Guerrero in 2008. Like, it's the same shit.
We're kind of the same thing.
It's the same thing.
We're kind of the same things, but different.
It factually is. Speaking of the Cubs, though, Justin Turner did go to the Cubs on a 1-year deal. Yeah. Don't mind it. Probably going to play DH for him. Not a whole lot of juice left in him, but as a consolation prize for not giving a guy $120 million, okay.
They're trying. Okay, here's a conspiracy theory. You ready?
Tinfoil hat.
Tinfoil hat, put them on. The Cubs are purposely trying to keep as much money in the organization right now on purpose because the labor agreement with the MLB and the MLBPA is up in 2027.
We are still fucked, by the way.
They have still not come to any resolution as to what that's going to look like.
Do you remember the last lockout?
1991?
No, they locked out
that's right.
during COVID almost.
Yeah, it was like right before COVID. You were at a baseball game that shut down, weren't you? Like you walked into spring training.
Well,
and they were like, sorry, go home.
We went to Camelback and it was closed when we got there, and they're like, there's no game. So we just went to go see it and then left. But that was because of COVID. But it was right around the same time where the lockout happened. They didn't end up playing baseball. What I've been reading is that this is going to surpass that considerably.
Yeah.
Because that, like, we might not get a full season or even a season, depending on how it's looking right now.
Well, then you might as well kiss baseball goodbye because so many people aren't even interested as of now.
What are we doing?
I could see the Savannah Bananas creating their own league and people being more excited to go see that than seeing them playing whatever this is.
Guys dancing to High School Musical is better than. It's just, rich people are.
Do you know how like tickets for the Savannah Bananas are insane?
Yeah, they like sell out every game. Yeah, it's like hard to get tickets to that.
It's truly bananas.
This guy's a comedian. Stop, dude. You're funny. You're a silly guy.
Wow, kids. Hello, fellow youths. Yeah, it's going to be a problem, but that's my conspiracy. I think the Chicago Cubs spent a lot of money in building up in and around Wrigley, even though it's a fucking ghost town, not during baseball season. Think about it. Without that stadium.
What? When it's not baseball season, it's a ghost town?
I mean, dude, what are you doing in Wrigleyville in the winter?
I live 4 blocks away, and every single weekend it's packed.
Yeah, because it's all like drunk college kids or former college kids.
That isn't what a ghost town is, Mike.
I understand, but in my eyes,
a bunch of older Cubs fans.
It's not the money that they could make off of it during in-season play,
for sure. But they're making hand over fist because now it's like there's clubs there. There's Tin Roof, right, that we went to. It's pretty cool. But like they got the live music, they got the open front. Like they know what they're doing over there. It's packed every weekend. It was packed last weekend and it was 1 degree outside.
Come with me while we go to Wrigleyville.
Okay. Come with me while we go to Old Crow and get a sake bomb. Cool. Basketball. Ball goes up, ball goes down.
Ball goes up. It's my favorite sport.
It's All-Star Weekend, Mike. And gone are the times of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Vince Carter and the dunk contest and all of the whimsy and fun that we used to have in the All-Star game. And everybody's been saying it, and it's almost drawn out, but it's still like you got to say it. It's fun for nobody now. It used to be fun for like kids, and I get that adults didn't like it that much, but like at least they tried a little bit. Yeah. It's so bad now to the point where Adam Silver is so obsessed with tournaments now that he made another tournament in the All-Star game where they had 4 teams. So they did the Rising Star game where it was like the young, like the freshmen versus sophomores or whatever. And whoever won that was put into the tournament. And then the tournament was Chuck versus Shaq versus Kenny teams. So they just went with the TNT guys. And like, I think it was like Shaq picked all the OGs and then like Chuck picked all the foreign guys and then Kenny picked all the young guys or whatever. And they were all they did the Elam ending. So you play up to 47 or whatever. And then it was so dumb. I didn't watch it at all. No interest in doing it. I watched all the replays after it and I was like, okay, that's fine. Like, congratulations to Damian Lillard and whoever the hell, Kyrie that won the MVP. Storylines around it though were aplenty, obviously. One being LeBron James bowing out of the game hours before.
I hate him.
I'm trying to understand why he would do that.
Vince, this man has expressed to everybody in the NBA watching world that he doesn't give a fuck about this game.
Yeah. Years.
What's so selfish? No,
it's selfish.
What's so selfish about this fucking asshole? No offense to anybody who likes him. But it's the most selfish thing you could do. You could have gave a kid a shot.
Norman Powell would have got minutes. Norman Powell would have got minutes, dude.
But you need to be in the forefront of this. And now you act like a guy at a business who's been there forever and thinks he's untouchable and shows up in the
unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. He is. And I get all that. But remember, what's taken him 22 years to do in surpassing Michael Jordan, it took Michael Jordan, what? 15 years? Not even
16, I think, altogether.
Yeah, there you go. So
but also passing is a question. He isn't passing, in my humble opinion.
What?
He hasn't
I'm
passed
talking
him.
Statistically in certain areas, yes.
Points, yes, mostly.
But he will never be better than Mike. It's like
I
people
agree.
who try and argue that Joe Montana is better than Tom Brady. It's like, just shut up.
He's not. Yeah, and the thing is too is like, one, he should have said that he wasn't going to play before, but I think he wanted to get all the glitz and the glam and then not actually have to play in the game because he's an ass. That's what it felt like. Again, optics versus reality. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Norman Powell should have been playing. Somebody else should have been playing to have the opportunity to. And what pissed me off the most, and this is a little bit of an old man yelling at clouds thing, but they took a picture of all the All-Stars. And this happened before where Kobe was injured but went to All-Star weekend to like be on there, and he was on the side of the picture. All the injured guys go on the side, and they kind of look like coaches on the side, you know? LeBron James, backwards hat, street clothes, smack dab in the middle of the fucking picture.
He's
Why
such
is
a
he
tool.
wearing normal clothes when everybody else is in their uniform? Get out of the
Vince,
middle. Like, what do we do?
Basketball has become the most aggressively just baby back bullshit league in all of professional sports. These guys make too much money. Too much. Yeah, look at him out here looking like fucking
Why is he just chilling?
Ellen James out here.
He's
out here looking
got,
like Ellen James. Look at Ellen James in the middle there,
Why
guys.
Ellen
He's about to go
James?
Dance to Stevie
Oh,
Wonder.
you think he looks like Ellen DeGeneres?
Mom's clapping
He
off.
doesn't look like Ellen DeGeneres, bro.
Yes, he does. He's dressed
No, he's
like
not.
Ellen. White pants and like
That's
a coat
true.
with
The all white.
sneakers.
Yeah, he's got like
Come
white
on.
sweatpants on, a beige bomber and a white shirt and backwards.
Somebody
hats
put
and
on
sneakers.
Sign, Seal, Deliver and have a bunch of Caucasian white women clapping off beat.
Just
Please,
like,
let's go.
get
Let's
out of
start
the middle
dancing in
of-
the crowd.
Get out of the middle of the picture, dude. That's all. That's all. The only
He's
thing that pissed
such
me
a
off.
toolbox. He can't even control himself how much of a tool. But the NBA has become this overpaid crybaby bitch league
I
that
don't think it's
nobody gives a
overpaid.
fuck. They are so overpaid.
Why
They
do you
can
say
pick
that?
and choose. Okay, Vince, look at the average NBA contract. All the money's guaranteed.
Yeah.
And the Supermax, if you're good enough to get it, which that threshold is very, very low.
How do you define overpaid though? This is always we've had
Zach
this before.
LaVine.
Why is he overpaid?
Ben Simmons.
I have two arguments.
They
Overpaid
are
is
overpaid. All of them.
worth is based on how much somebody's willing to give you. One. So whatever you get, you end up getting. And two, if the money doesn't go to them, who does it go to?
Vince, I don't know. Maybe
The
make better-
owners
I
get all
it.
the money, and they already
get
do
it.
get all of
All
the
right.
money.
Okay,
They should
I'm
be
ju-
paying. What
I'm
I get
just
pissed
saying,
about
then
is
the
they should be
product
playing.
on the court
Right.
should be better. If
Right,
you're going
100%.
to get that much money, you should be obligated to play so many minutes in a season.
That's
And
where
if you
I
don't,
agree with you.
You get deducted.
There should be like a level where it's like, here's the expectations throughout it outside of like a.
And they want to know why the ratings are in the fucking toilet.
Yeah, that's
Nobody
why.
cares. These jazzy courts are stupid. They look
don't like
horrible on television.
It's all
Um,
cheeky. It's all too
It's
cheeky.
dude, it's very cheeky. And all the branding for the
Yeah.
jerseys now and everything that goes with the NBA, it's just ugh.
Like let's just.
I could care less
Yeah.
about NBA basketball until the playoffs start. And even then, I'm just like, okay, they don't play
I know.
defense.
That's been my thing. It's like 50% effort until the last quarter of the season, and then they start playing. That's what pissed me off the most. They all just have this agreed upon thing where like we're just not going to play that hard until the end of the season. It's like, all right, well,
Yeah.
The thing
Taking
is,
plays
someone's
off,
got to
faking
give.
injuries.
Yeah, and like Joel Embiid is like the mouthpiece of being an absolute annoying asshole about it. It's just, yeah, it's hard to watch, and there's a reason that they go down. And at some point, they're going to have to agree to play the sport again. Because
How in
you're-
the what's so horrible to me is that like during the All-Star weekend, why you want stars there, hence the name of the fucking
Yeah.
event, you would assume, not to
tomb.
assume the tomb, but you would assume your All-Stars are competing in all these skill competitions
Dude.
and everything that go with
Which
that.
they did in the skill competition, but the fucking dunk contest. dude.
Mac McClung,
Again, three-peat.
a 6'5" white dude who
10-day
plays G League.
contract. 10-day contract with the Magic. It's just like so annoying. He jumped over a car. It's like, yeah, but he's also not playing in the NBA. Like they should just get rid of it honestly. It doesn't do anything. They like the celebrity game. They keep posting it on the NBA thing. I'm like, all right,
Nobody cares.
maybe it's not for us, but no, clearly no one was watching it because the ratings were they were plummeted this year. It was
Nobody
very
cares.
dumb.
Nobody
Okay.
cares.
The next thing I want to talk about, they do have the skills competition. And speaking of taking it seriously, Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama played in the skills competition, and they got disqualified after their first round because they got the
For
best
what,
score.
Vince?
So the way the scoring works is that you have to like bounce pass it into a target and then run down through the cones and then shoot 3-3-pointers, and then you get deduct if you miss the 3-pointers. Well, they figured out that if you just run up and just toss the ball off of the rack and not like actually try to shoot, then it'll take less time and you can actually like run faster and take the point deduction and you'll still win. So they just ran up to the rack and just started throwing it and then ran and that's all they did. They just missed them on purpose and they got the best scores. And then they came up and they're like, we're just going to disqualify you because you guys it wasn't in the nature of the game. And they're like, what the fuck? So they were trying to rig the NBA All-Star. Just like, what
Who cares? Who cares?
Why are you rigging it, dude?
I'm more interested in trying to figure out what I'm going to have to dinner than talk about the fucking NBA All-Star game.
I understand. Now,
Can we talk about real sports like hockey players
We
hating
can
each other
in
because
one
of
moment,
global
because I
strife?
do like to talk about real competition that did happen. Court of Gold. Did you hear about this documentary that came out?
No.
They shot a documentary during the basketball games in the Olympics. So when like France and US and Serbia and all that stuff was going on. A couple funny highlights of this. First off, Jokic was yelling at Bogdan Bogdanovic, different guy, about not guarding KD properly. He's like, they're like, how do you expect me to guard him? Everybody else is on the thing. He's like, KD's 5 for 5 with 3 threes. Like, what the fuck are you doing? The coach comes in, he starts yelling at him in Serbian, and he's just like, I shouldn't have assigned you to Durant because clearly you guys can't fucking guard him. And that's got to be the worst blow that you could get from a coach, where it's just like, it's my fault for even thinking you could do that. Like, just ruining his day.
We're very good at specific sports in the U.S.
Yeah.
Baseball,
Yep.
football,
Yep.
basketball.
Yep.
If anybody one day decided, hey, America, you need to be really good at soccer,
Yeah.
and we actually found interest in that, think about Tyreek Hill playing
I know.
soccer.
I know. I think about it all the time.
Think about LeBron James as a goaltender. You're all fucked.
Fucked. 100%.
You are so fucked.
100%.
So just
I agree.
be happy, world, that we haven't decided this is
Well,
our thing. Because one day in one era, it could happen.
To this point, Evan Fournier on the French team with Wembanyama was talking about it, and he was like, the thing is like, yeah, they got all the stars, but we have the chemistry. We played together for 10 plus years. These guys show up for 3 weeks and they can't play. And then the next scene is Kevin Durant laughing, saying, is that chemistry going to help you when you got to guard Steph? And then Steph dropped like 5 threes on their heads. Like not even 2 hours after that happened. It's like, come on. Like, I understand they have to talk that shit, but like, come on,
Vince,
buddy.
I just get so just fed up with the NBA in general.
I know you do, but hey, we
I
do
love
have
college basketball.
we do have a podcast to talk about sports. So we have
I
to talk
love
about
college
it.
basketball. We should replace NBA All-Star Weekend talking college basketball. Live look in. Providence is getting their shit beat right now by Georgetown, 59-41.
Big East, baby.
Big
Pride of
East,
DePaul.
man. St. John's is going far this year. I like St. John's and
They are.
Auburn. Oh, they're coming to get me, Vince. They're coming to get me.
Oh, now you have the sirens. It's not just me this time.
Oh, meat wagon.
4 nations under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The 4 nations putting the NBA to shame this week. 4 Nations is, I put the wrong link on there. 4 Nations is the NHL's essentially all-star game, which is way better. Where it's just the US versus Canada versus Sweden versus Finland. Russia should be in it. Russia would probably win it.
This whole global conflict thing,
But they won't let Russia do it. But Russia should be in it.
We're going to get a deal done. Next year, it's going to be the 5th nation.
You can't do 5 in a bracket.
Well, I think it'd be cool if you did like the 7 nations
under God.
Because then you could then you could put on that White Stripe song. I'm gonna fight.
Oh, Seven Nation Army.
Yeah. Should like the marketing behind that is fascinating. What
Sure.
would be cool is if like every year they like added a new country.
That'd be cool. And then the worst team like gets kicked,
like
and then the
like
new
soccer.
Yeah, relegation. I like that.
No kidding.
America fucking rocks, dude.
America, we're good at hockey.
And I'm saying this under the guise that they do play the championship today, right? The day that we're post on Thursday. So if it goes wrong, then just disregard what I said. But essentially, 5.4 million American viewers in the first round matchup between the U.S. and Canada. Highest watched hockey game outside of the Stanley Cup ever. I was watching it. It rocked. There was 3 fights in the first 9 seconds of the game.
They do not like each other. Well,
Brady,
all the
Matthew
things
Tkachuk,
with
sick.
well, all like the posturing going on right now of our
Commander-in-Chief.
Our commander-in-chief saying that they should be the 51st state.
Yeah.
Granted, they don't really have a leg to stand on in this argument because we do protect them quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, we're not taking Canada right now anyway, but like
we're not trying to take Canada right now, but I'm just saying there's a lot of issues and they booed our national anthem, which we've never done to them. It wasn't a classic.
But you're not offended by that.
I mean, it was.
We're going to war. We're going to war on the hockey. Please fucking boo us so we could go beat your ass. Dude, no, I'm saying we're in a hockey war. I love it. Boo the national anthem. We go out there, we beat them, suck my balls. That's what we just said to them. Who gives a fuck if they boo it? I'm not waiting for them to appreciate it. Yeah. Breaking news.
I have breaking news.
Okay. Oh shit, I gotta go find that again. No,
so FBI details how selfies helped nab a Chilean gang allegedly targeting Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and other pro athletes in a string of robberies.
Snapchat helped.
Crazy.
They found him?
Yeah.
That's crazy. For people that don't remember this, it was like a Monday Night Football thing. These guys would track Monday Night Football of who's the away team and then rob their houses on the Monday night that they were out of town. Happened to Joe Burrow, happened to Pat, and now they found him through Snapchat. That's pretty wild.
They also found them based off of a pawn shop in Brooklyn that had some of these belongings from Joe Burrow and all this good stuff. And then they like audited the pawn shop, and then they had a full-blown investigation by the FBI, and then came in and arrested the owners of the pawn shop and put allegations against them that they're into like black market goods and shit. It's fascinating.
How does that work? You gotta have papers for shit at pawn shops?
I have no idea. Legitimate pawn shops, but it's Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's kind of just doing whatever they want.
Yeah. But back to hockey. Sorry,
guys. Yeah. I think fair play. Boo it. If you don't like it, fine. We're gonna go out
I
there
get it.
and
Yeah.
fuck
No,
them
there was
Fuck
3
them up
fights
then.
in the first, to your point, 3 minutes.
I love it. Bad
love
blood
it.
is always welcomed in sports for me. If there's bad blood and there's real, like, the same thing goes with the NBA. It's like NBA, they're all like buddies, and it pisses me off. Bad blood in hockey, they're going out there and they're fighting each other. 3 fights in the first 9 minutes or 9 seconds. Yeah, buddy. Give me that. Because it was a hard fought game the whole time. USA hammers down, fuck them up. And now we get the rematch again. So, Finland and Sweden were there.
So does the U.S. still have a path to get to the finals of this event?
This is the finals.
Okay. So they're not one of the last teams.
No, this is the finals.
Oh, okay.
It's Canada versus U.S. So it's like did
they purposely lose to Sweden in order to play Canada again to beat the fuck out of them?
Who, America?
Yeah.
Did they lose to Sweden?
Yeah, they lost to Sweden.
I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, Vince, you got to pay attention to the whole thing for us to talk.
But
about.
I know they're in fine. You didn't even know if they could win.
Well, I asked you because I thought you knew.
That with me, you can't play that with me right now. Here, let me find a bracket for the Foul Nations. But yeah, no, the way they laid it out was like 2-1, right? So they got 6 points. Canada got 5 points. Sweden got 5 points, but they're 1-2, so they won the tiebreaker. It was listed out like no,
Vince, Cup. You're right. Thursday, February 20th, Canada USA Championship game. Ooh, they're playing at the fucking Garden, cuz they're gonna have a wicked pisser.
They are
playing at the Garden.
Yeah, it was laid out like the World Cup is. So points versus wins and losses. Finland was cheeks for sure. It did not work out well for them, but
I've read and heard a lot of people wanting Russia to be a part of this. I would say that would be like the best.
They should be.
They have all the goalies.
I know.
There's so many Monoviches and Rodmanoviches and Mitches and Vitches.
Well, and the thing is
just like you're fucked.
We're second in goalies, and Canada used to have all the goalies, and now all of them are like,
now they're all in Russia.
Well, no, they're all just like trying to be like Sidney Crosby, and they're not trying to be like Marc-Andre Fleury anymore. So they're losing all their goalies. So yeah, dude, it's sick. It's set up. U.S. wins the first one. They go to the finals. Canada clearly is out for blood. They got Connor McJesus on their team. Like, we're set up for a fun game. I really hope, like, so many people are going to watch that tomorrow. That's way better than an all-star game. All day.
I agree with that statement.
You can't even argue it, I feel like.
NBA should take notes, but they won't.
Well, how does the NBA do the same thing?
Well, I don't know.
They can't.
The one time somebody said something about China, LeBron James got on his fucking soapbox because his shoes.
He called Taiwan, not Chinese Taipei.
Oh, God.
And then China was like, we're not going to sell your shoes anymore. He's like, I'm sorry. Same thing, John Cena. He had to apologize for calling it Taiwan and not Chinese Taipei because like they're like, we own Taiwan. And they're like, fuck you. No, you don't. Which I love, dude. Rebel shit.
Yeah, I mean, John Cena could care less.
I know. I don't like John Cena anymore. I think he's lame.
What's the problem with John Cena? What's your hating on John Cena?
I think he's too self-important and it pisses me off. Because he does interviews now like he's like saved the world from like a disease. And like all you did was the You Can't See Me and acted in a couple shitty movies. And now you think you're God.
Like, I mean, Vince, you got to remember, he's like superhero to some of these kids.
Yeah, he's a boner.
By some of these kids, certain kids usually that have special needs.
Like the fucking, like the Shane Gillis bit. I know you're kidding.
I mean, they do.
I don't blame them. I still think he's a chud. Still think he's a boner.
I mean,
I feel like if I
he's a pretty
swore
cool
around
guy.
him, he'd be like, "Watch your mouth, not around the kids." Like he's one of those guys. It's like, why are you telling me what to do, John Cena? You fake fought. Like I don't know
not
what
around the kids. Now shut up while I go and try and bang this house mom in front of my wife.
No, I know. Case in point. Or you should be like, watch my new movie where me and my daughter go for a drive. And you're like, this is so dumb. You should stop acting.
Muscles.
I don't like them. I'm not a Cena guy. NFL talk.
NFL talk. All right.
Ben Cleveland arrested for your DUI, Mike. You know who Ben Cleveland is?
No.
He is a guard for the Baltimore Ravens. You know what school he went to, Mike?
Notre Dame?
No.
Ohio State.
Ben Cleveland got a DUI. What school did he go to, Mike?
I don't know.
Tryon University of Georgia for
hell yeah! Let's go.
Let's try that one out for
most Deweys per college and NFL
Unbelievable. History. I saw the tweet and I was dying. It was like, guess where Ben Cleveland went to college? And I was like, can't be Georgia. There's no way it's Georgia. Another one goes towards Georgia. They can't get away from DUIs, tragic drunk driving accidents. They can't get away from them. Grows on trees. They're like, you want a 5-star athlete? You're also going to get DUI, but it's fine. You're chilling. Kirby's cool with it.
We have to understand these boys are out here doing the Lord's work. And every now and again, they like to drink and drive.
Yeah.
In the words of Mike Gundy, I mean, come on, we've all been there a couple times. You just had one too many.
Yeah. Everybody's drunk driven like 7 times. You're like,
well, sir, Ollie Gordon's one of your best running backs on the team and projected top 5 draft pick.
What are you going to do to reprimand
we're
him?
just going to run him more.
Just gonna get
all right, Mike Gundy. Good job, buddy. Well, Vince, hot stove talks are in full effect. And I don't know if it's like free agency, draft talk. Cam Ward has recently come out and said kind of the kiss of death statement.
Okay.
Okay, so he recently went to SI, and they asked him in some of his, pre-pro day events and things like that, what do you think and say about the teams who say you're not ready to be an NFL quarterback and all this good stuff? He's like, well, I'll say this. Any team that's trying to pass up on me, it's going to be the worst mistake they've ever made. And,
to Josh Rosen.
I'm going to keep a list, he said.
Yep.
And I'm paraphrasing, but
he's doing the Amon-Ra. He's doing the Josh Rosen put together.
Well, Amon-Ra, he could talk. But
yeah, but he said he was keeping a list, and he has a list. Josh Rosen said he was, and then he was out of the league in 2 years.
Yeah, and Josh Rosen, I swear we're going to win some Super Bowls. No, he ain't. No, you're not.
Maybe as a GM in 20 years, but
yeah, but this is not looking good for Cam.
Why do you hate Cam Ward so much? I still don't
hate him.
Yes, you do. You're giggity over there, dude. You're giggling right now.
I don't feel as if he's that good. He's good. He's not that good.
Yeah, but what if he is good?
To the discussion we've had many times in a row, Vince. If Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders were in last year's draft, they most likely are going on day 2.
Probably not. Probably end day 1. But how long is it going to take? If he's good, how long is it going to take you to admit it? 2 years?
Probably how long it took me to think who's the guy that I never thought was good, who's good now.
I don't. There's a lot of those guys. You're like you're honestly a certified hater half the time.
I'm not a certified hater. I like specific guys. I don't know. I'd say give him 2 seasons now. If he has
if he Jaden Daniels this year,
yeah, but he's not.
Yeah, but
I heard a guy today go. I was doing this training. This guy was like, the AFC West is the best division in all professional football. I said, no, it's not. He's like, well, think about it. Think about all the teams. I said, who? And he goes, the Raiders. And I'm like, huh?
That's the only bad team in the whole AFC West.
And I'm like, that's okay. Wait, horrible example. Go on.
I don't.
And he's like the Broncos. I'm like, okay, they went like, they didn't even win 10
playoff
games.
Team.
Yeah, but okay. In my opinion, did you hit double-digit wins?
Chargers playoff team. Chiefs best team, second best team in the league.
Okay.
You were fighting for the North, I assume.
Well, I mean, statistically, if you look at the NFC North, we're pretty fucking good.
Yeah, but schedule.
It's a tough division, Vince. It's a tough division.
It's not an outlandish argument on his end. I would agree with you.
I'm not saying that it is, but
the Raiders is crazy if you brought that up first.
I mean, his first team was like the Raiders. If he was like the Chargers, I was like, yeah, they're building something.
Yeah.
And now they're getting rid of all this money. Joey Bosa is going to be a cap structure. Okay. I have my life. Okay. All right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Let's talk about the Bears. All right. So I had some help the other day in thinking through this. And I was playing Madden. And I was like, is he worth it?
Who?
Put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it?
Trey?
No. Is Cole Kmet really that good?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about this.
Is Cole Kmet really that good?
Yeah, I believe he is.
I don't think he is. Go look at his stats.
I know, but he's
not that good.
That requires targets. Do you remember when he had...
Time out. Let me go on. And you can bring up all these points, and I get it. Cole Kmet, I think everybody is in love with because he is the Chicago millennial boy's dream. He is a good-looking kid, went to Catholic high school in Arlington Heights, dual sport athlete, probably could have gone pro in baseball if he chose to. Kid was an absolute freak. Okay, goes to Notre Dame, chooses to play football.
Dog.
Gets drafted in the second round by the Chicago Bears. Lives the millennial kid's dream of being a professional player in the sport of football, right? If you grew up in Chicagoland, you want to be Cole Kmet. So I think what it is, more so than anything, because if you look at his stats, Not that good. Regardless if you want to give the excuses of he's never been in a system that's fit his ability.
He doesn't get targeted. Every single time he gets targeted, he has a good game. Do you remember last year? He's also the perfect size for a tight end.
He can't block.
Yes, he can. He can
block.
No,
he cannot.
He's blocked relatively decently. He can block just as good as almost any other tight end in the league. And last year, remember Jacksonville in England? Remember that fucking game?
That was one fucking game, Vince.
I know. And if you look at his targets for the rest of the season outside of that, you will see a trend. That's all I'm saying. Is it him getting open, or is it him not getting the ball thrown to him, or is it DJ Moore wants the ball more and he's going to cry about it?
What if I told you that if the Bears got him off the books via either a trade or potentially a cut or something along those lines,
sure,
they would save $10 million in cap space.
Hey, it's a good contract. But how much cap space do we have right now?
A lot.
Yeah. So
what if you want to go target? What if you want to go target a Micah Parsons? What if you want to go target Myles Garrett?
Do it.
It would just be more money. You're not going to have all the money to do.
We have so much cap space.
You're not going to have enough money for Trey Smith and Micah Parsons or Myles Garrett in order to do that. So you get rid of 10 mil off the books. You do it before the season
for his
starts.
Ability level is pretty good, though.
Vince, I feel like you could find it in the draft.
I don't think you can. Unless you're taking one of the top 2 tight ends.
You take one in the second or in the third round. They're second, third round picks all day long. Nobody takes a tight end in the first round.
Unless they're really good.
Unless you're that kid from Georgia.
Penn State.
A couple years. Yeah.
And Brock Bowers and Kyle Pitts. He's going to, Penn State guy's going. Ugh. Yeah, he went 7, didn't he? Or 10?
What if you looked at Atlanta and said, hey, maybe these guys need changes of scenery.
They believe
get Pitts over here. Trade Kmet for Pitts straight up.
No, they won't do that.
It's the best Madden trade ever.
That's a Madden trade is exactly what it is, Mike. They're not saying
throwing it up and going to get it, babe.
Speaking of guys changing teams, I don't think they should do that, but we are both willing to have our opinion, obviously. Sound off in the comments about that opinion. Hit that shit, super chat. Justin Fields, you're seeing this today?
What's that he wants to be a starter?
No, the Jets might make him a starter.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Good luck, baby boy. Go get it. Go get it.
They might speaking of 10 mil, they might give him 10 mil to come start in New York because Aaron Rodgers is done in New York. Aaron Rodgers supposedly wanted to come back. Told the Jets, I want to come back, and they said, nah,
I could see him walking down the same road Favre did, because I think either Sam Darnold gets retained.
They already have 2 quarterbacks and they want 1. They're not going to bring 3. I don't know how you do that. Jets are extremely interested in signing Justin Fields. Jets are prepared to give him a $10 to $15 million contract to be their starter in 2025.
Wow. I don't know what anybody can see other than he's a glorified running back to say he's the guy. Unless you have a plan.
He's not bad. He's just not good. We went through this thought process for 3 years.
What you should really do is put an offensive line and build this thing around Justin. Caleb isn't think of the haul you can get for that pick. For Caleb. People, this was all Chicago radio.
It still is. You still see those gremlins out there.
You probably should have kept Justin when you look at it, because this kid's going to get his head kicked in. I love old school Chicago Bears fans, because the first thing they go is just trade him.
Yeah.
Just trade him now, because he's going to be worth more than he ever.
You don't even know what we got. We already got a guy.
Go get Aaron Rodgers and an offense. You're winning the Super Bowl. No, you're not. We're not. We're not doing any of those things. Okay, Cole Kmet's PFF grade, and this is how we're going to end the show.
No, I want to talk about where Aaron Rodgers is going to go.
60.6 is his overall grade, which ends in 31st to 37th in all of tight ends. Not great. Okay. His total receiving yards 2024, over under 500.
Probably under.
Under
They didn't throw the
474.
ball to him last year. That was an
Total
offensive
touchdowns
sham.
over under. Total touchdowns over under 5.
You can't make this argument because you have to go through each of you got to go through but you got to go through each receiver on the Bears and compare them to the entire NFL too. You think DJ Moore's coming in top 15 in any category? You think Rome is? You think Caleb is coming in? You can't.
Caleb,
if you have a quarterback,
Caleb broke a rookie record for Bears quarterback touchdowns, which is not saying much. But I'm just saying.
I know that's like eating the best shit ever. It's not what you want.
Hey,
you're looking.
This is delicious poo.
I love them. It was a poo, but it was only spinach. It was delicious. It was all corn. No, you can't. You can't compare tight ends from a team that has a quarterback that's going to throw to them, a team that has an offense that's situated properly for the players. DJ Moore is a better receiver on a good offense. DJ Moore's a better receiver with the Lions. Cole Kmet's a better receiver with the Lions or the Vikings. The Bears were bad altogether on an offense. Nobody on the Bears were top 15 in shit last year.
Great. Defend it all you want. $10 million.
That isn't going to get spent anyway. We're not signing anybody. Well, we're waiting to see it. We're waiting to see.
Are we pulling a Cubs move right now?
No, I'm saying we're gonna sign people, but we have like $56 million in cap space right now.
Okay, an extra.
We
10
don't
would
need.
Be nice.
I would rather have Cole Kmet for $10 million and still have 56.
What if you draft a stud tight end in the second or third round because you have 2 second-round picks and 2 third-round picks?
What if you draft a stud lineman, defensive lineman, safety?
Okay.
You've been yammering for offensive linemen. You've been yammering.
Well,
and now you want to go pick a skill guy in the second round? What has become
Well,
of you?
if you get rid of if you get draft capital in return for Cole Kmet, let's say you trade him to a team that needs a tight end, you look at
he's not that valuable.
Well, I would put
according
good money
to you, he's not that his trade level is as low as it can be. Maybe he has a good year this year, and then you trade him and pick up another guy next year.
And we'll see. I just think the 10 million thing was interesting to me. I looked at the numbers and I was like,
if we needed to move him to get another piece, then that makes sense. But we don't need that.
All right. Where's Aaron Rodgers going to end up? Where's the smartest quarterback that has ever played the game of football going to end up?
He's a Steeler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah. Mike Tomlin trying to win right now. It's a little bit of heat slowly starting to come on him. You got Pickens on that team. Defense is pretty fucking good.
George Pickens doesn't want to be there no more.
Yeah, but if Aaron Rodgers is throwing the ball well, I don't know if he's going to be able to.
To tail follow him. It's just I don't think the Steelers organization wants the noise, to be fair.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is good anymore.
Yeah, I think he's cooked.
Yeah,
he'll get a job though. Everybody's saying there's no market for him.
No, there is.
I heard a report the other day that they're like the Bears should seriously consider bringing him in to back up Caleb. And I'm just
you follow too many like shitty fan pages or local radio guys because that shit's gonna kill you at some point.
It's horrible to hear this. You're just like, what?
I know, it's dumb. Well, that's because they have to fill 8 hours of time every day.
Here's another good one.
Honestly.
Matthew Stafford will be a Ram.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Well, no. So they're saying that the Rams are asking for a first round pick for him.
Oh wow, that's insane.
What? He's 37, injury prone.
Yeah.
He's good, but what are we doing?
Well, you think about it. He may want to go to a team that is kind of in win now mode. Maybe you look at Kevin O'Connell, who he worked with, where he won a Super Bowl, and maybe you decide that your young cherub boy needs more time to develop, so you let him develop under Matthew Stafford.
On the Vikings is terrifying.
It would be he goes back to the NFC North, kind of like a fuck you, I'm back.
TJ, Jordan Addison, Jettas in a dome with a good defense. Oh, that's scary. I don't even want to think about that.
Be pretty sexy. I think Kevin O'Connell might just be like, you know what? We'll get rid of Sam D. Sam, here's our offer. Take it or leave it. And then if not, he's like, all right, well, let's see what we could go do. Because I bet you could probably give up a second round pick.
Second and a fifth. Second and a sixth.
Yeah.
Something like that.
especially if you're in win now mode and he's the bridge that gets you there.
Him on the Vikings.
Maybe you look at trade Jordan Addison. You get Cooper Kupp. You get him. You trade Addison to. I know it's not great, but
no, don't get rid of Jordan Addison. Keep the two-headed monster. I think you can get away with only draft picks for Stafford.
Well, I think a second would get it done.
Yeah, me too.
And I think about it, if you're going to go win a Super Bowl with him, which you may have the team to do it,
they do for sure. If they had like a real veteran quarterback there, that would have.
They could make a playoff run.
Yeah, for sure.
And Justin Jefferson, let's face it, Kirk Cousins wasn't all that in bag of potato chips. There's another question: where the fuck is Kirk Cousins going to end up? I have no idea.
Back it up, Michael Penix.
I think they're going to try and get him off the books as quickly as possible.
Who wants that contract? Stinky. They'll
split it. They'll split it with somebody, but you could look at Kirky Cuz going to somebody who needs a bridge.
Pittsburgh.
I think the Raiders.
Vegas.
Oh yeah. Pistol Pete would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, Petey boy. All spec. But
Rodgers,
we should keep eyes on this.
Rodgers and Pistol Pete in Vegas would be funny.
What date, Vince, should we do our top 10 mock draft? What day should we do that? It's February. Sometime in March, maybe?
Yeah.
Should we go way too early? Mock draft 1, mock draft 2, mock draft 3? 3 res of mock draft.
3? That's literally like Madden.
We're so bored. We need 3 of these.
Well, I'm thinking, NFL draft is the 24th. We have all of March Madness, so maybe beginning of April.
All right, really pushing it out.
Yeah, 2 weeks before the draft, 3 before the draft.
Like a big shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Where's the shot?
All right. Well, there's NFL talk. Gotta love it. All right, people.
Yeah, boy.
Well, as you know the drill, we do this every week. So if you haven't yet, this is the third time we're going to tell you. Third time's a charm. Like it, subscribe it, share it to a friend, share it to a sibling, share it to a brother, share it to a father, maybe a mother, maybe you got a niece, maybe you got a nephew.
Nephews,
of course.
Maybe you got a few nephews.
Maybe you got a few nephews. You can't assume the tomb. And then, of course, we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Talking Tales with Mike and Vince. Oh, jazzy beats while we dispense. Yeah,